Welcome everyone to Chess with TV episode 158. Today is August 4th. We have entered into August 2015 and we're going to play some Horde chess today. I know nobody wants to play Horde chess, but I do, so I'm going to. Actually, at the end of last episode, we made a long list of things we were going to do, and Horde chess wasn't on the list. So of course, we're doing Horde chess today. It's a chess variant where one side gets all the pawns and then some, the other side gets normal chess pieces, and you go at it from there. Whoops, I got an email. I got to get my phone out of here. By the way, I want to show you guys something on the chess.org. Let's go there right now, lichess.org. Something cool on my profile. Take a look at this. 9,991 games played. Do you know what that means, guys? It means we're not playing more than 8 games today. Today we are playing at most 8 games of chess because next episode, which is 159, on Thursday at 6 p.m. GMT, we are going to broadcast game number 10,000 on Lichess. And that is a milestone, which is completely meaningless, but I'm kind of excited about it anyway. Let's go play some Horde. And I've gotten a challenge from Aaron Drecke, but look at that. It's a 1-minute Horde chess. If I play 1 minute, then I will finish 8 games so quickly. I can't do that. So I'm actually going to seek a game, and I'm switching over to a Horde variant. Let's go 3 minutes, 2 seconds added. Seems reasonable to me. My rating range here is slightly above 1,500. 1,500 is your starting rating for any variant or anything at all. So by making it 1,550, my opponent has to have some kind of rating. Now let's play some Horde chess. So I'm playing the pieces here. The goal is to capture all of the pawns without getting checkmated, but basically capture all of the pawns without letting any promotions occur. Because if he promotes to a queen and I don't capture that right away, there's no way I'm going to capture all of his stuff. Because you can't really checkmate a queen. It's way too fast. Way too fast. Let's see what we've got here. I want to open up some files for my pieces. Generally, as the piece player, I want more openness. If you haven't seen Horde before, you're definitely going to learn a lot about it. It's not completely intuitive what you want to do with the pawns. I mean, you move them for a little bit and you're like, what should I be doing? So maybe you can learn a thing or two from this episode about that. I think I'm going to capture this way. I'm actually not going to capture. I'm leaving everything here so that things open up, and when they open up, it's to my advantage that they do so, because then I've got some open files that I can attack pawns on. There's really no point in getting open files as the pawn player because there's nothing to take advantage of that. I think I like my rook pawns out here like this. And now, not much is happening. I'm actually going to sacrifice 2 pieces for 3 pawns on this square. Often it's the goal of the piece player to trade a piece for 2 pawns because there's nothing to take but pawns, so you might as well take them. But 1 piece for 2 pawns is a good trade in general for the piece player. 2 pieces for 3 pawns is not quite the same ratio, but I still kind of like it if it's opening up the position a little bit. And here I've freed up this area a little bit, so I'm okay with that. Let's see where we're going from here, however. My other goal is to lock up the position so that he can't advance on any file. For example, he can't move this pawn, because I have 3 attackers, and there's no way he can ever bring 3 defenders to any square. And also stuff. I'm actually going to do nothing here. Maybe I should just wait. Because if I push, then he pushes. And I can't sacrifice everything. Let's actually... I haven't played Horde chess in a while, so I'm playing a little bit carefully. I think I'll actually move my king. There's nothing to do. I mean, I'm just waiting for a little bit more to happen. And then here. Yeah, I'll take that way. I shouldn't run this low on time. This isn't wise. But this puts a 3rd attacker on c6, which could come in handy. Oh, I think this is a mistake. When he pushes here, he gets it closed up. Oh, maybe he's not pushing. That's probably good. And the same thing again. So we'll see if this is good because I've played it twice. Guys, we're learning in this game whether or not I should trade 2 minor pieces for 3 pawns. Because I've traded a lot of minor pieces here for a lot of 3 pawns. We're going to find out if that goes well for me. I think I actually have nothing to do in this position. But wait for him. He actually cannot advance much. He can't advance here because I've got 3 attackers. He can't advance here because when I take it opens up this attack and he can't protect that pawn, which he could play that, but he would lose a pawn and I would penetrate a little bit on this side of the board. So I don't think he wants to do that unless the pressure's on. He has no other choice. Advancing here would lose in the pawn. Advancing here he may play. Advancing here he cannot because of the same problem on that square. And of course he can't move the rook pawn. So actually this break is looking like the most expectable one. Maybe not. Maybe he's actually just has enough pawns to come through the center and I don't have enough minor pieces. Did I trade all of my minor pieces off? This could be painful. Yeah, I did. Definitely did. This is bad. He cannot advance this pawn now because of my 2 attackers here. Oh, he's going for it. I think I'll capture this way. It's not that bad to lose this pawn, but it is somewhat of a sacrifice, so he needs to have some good follow-up. You don't want to lose it just for nothing. You want to lose it at the right moment. I think here and here, whoops, queen like this, and then I can sacrifice here with my rook and break through. But this looks way better, taking a center pawn, because that's a really vital pawn for him. Center pawn is worth a lot more than a side pawn at this point. This is looking good for me now. I was feeling bad until I got my rook down here and captured this pawn. Now I'm feeling good about my position. This threatens this move, and if he pushes, then I've got this pawn here. And so I'm going to break through here in just a moment. Do I take that? It's a tough choice, actually. I think I don't take it. I think I actually don't take it. Because it's going to take him a lot of moves. If he captures here, he loses all of his f-pawns. He's got only these f-pawns, not very many f-pawns. So it takes him a lot of moves to mobilize them. Once again, going for that. I need to eat these guys up, of course, but it's important to stay near where these pawns are promoting. These guys are the most dangerous ones. If I can stop them, I win, because it takes way too many moves for these guys to do anything, especially facing this. So I think I'm just totally crushing right now. I think he's dead. This pawn is going to take too long to advance here. These pawns are the most dangerous ones right now. I think I can afford to take this. The problem with taking here is that the pawn chain on the white squares, this chain here after he pushes this way, is very difficult to unchain, to make it not awesome. Do I have time? I think I'll play my rook back, just in case he is almost promoting. The rook will really help to not let him promote. I'm happy to trade a rook for 2 pawns here. So I'm actually eating this pawn chain up from the back. The problem with taking this pawn, it's really tempting to take that and kind of get back into the action, but the root of the pawn chain being in the corner would have been very annoying for me because I can't take any of these pawns until I take this pawn in the corner. And so I went for that first just to make sure that I was going to be able to uproot this chain at all. So he's bringing in 1 more pawn. Rook. I actually don't mind him capturing my pawn because it really, once again, if he leaves this file, then this file is very weak for him. You really need all of the files to be protected in Horde chess, so if it all to be well supported here. So if he doesn't have that support, then he's really disjointed. This pawn doesn't have any support, and these pawns, there's way too many here. You need a balance, a certain number of pawns on each file. You can't just go completely short on one of the files. So now that I've dealt with that threat, once again, I can let that thing live. Let that sit there. Not capturing takes a lot of self-control, but I think it's going to pay off here because my rook easily covers the back rank. And he gives up. Good game. I actually think that it was a mistake. The feeling I was getting that game when I traded my knight and bishop for those 3 pawns each. It was like 3 red pawns here, and what do you know, 3 blue pawns here. This trade, I feel like that was bad because just before my rook penetrated down here, I felt like he could slowly advance. And let's analyze that game because this was a typical Horde chess where you make that sacrifice. There wasn't anything that unusual. I just fished around for a little bit. And right here, I was actually feeling quite bad. When he played this, then I was like, okay, I've got something because this pawn is now undefended and I could capture it. But what if he were to capture here? Let's play here. And then continue to slowly advance in the center. Oh, the downside is just 1 D pawn. That's very bad. If he had 2, it would be so much better because if he pushes here, I take, he takes. Now he has no D pawn. See this? This is a big problem for the pawn player because these pawns cannot work together at all. There's only 1 defender on each side, so he would lose that. So he advances this way instead. And I'm forced back a little bit, but now, you know, I think I've got a pretty good bind here. Maybe because there's no more D pawns, I'm actually doing great because this pawn is with only 1 defender. It means this guy can't move without losing that. So maybe he pushes here right now just to allow this. But it's very, very kind of fragile to have that D pawn like that with no other pawn supporting it. So I don't know. I felt bad about this kind of position as the piece player. But the fact is, it may be good for me because he only has 1 pawn. Let's take a look at my challenges. I've gotten a challenge, Rondep, but he wants to play 1 second Horde casual, so I'm going to decline that because I would rather play a slower rated game just because not only am I trying to play 8 or fewer games, but I want to think about my Horde chess. I don't want to just rush into Horde chess. So I've got the pieces again, and let me ask him, do you want pieces? Just because we could trade sides if he wishes. And I'll take his delay as a no. And I'll start crushing him. Oh, he does. Just before I let go of the mouse. Okay, so I got the pawns. I consider it really important to advance in the center in Horde chess. Some players do what he did and push on the side because these rook pawns can get held behind, but I actually think that the center is critically important. If you can block the piece player's pawns back on the back rank like this by getting pawns up to the 6th, then you're really doing well. So for example, here I could play b6 and it locks this pawn in place. That could be very strong. Notice that's a closed file. I mentioned in the first game that you like open files as the piece player. The reciprocal of that obviously is that you prefer closed files as the pawn player. This is even more tempting. See how close this is getting? If I can keep this pawn here, and then I'm winning. Not I win, but I am winning. I'm doing better than he, and that's because it's blocking this pawn. It's not really the fact that I'm 2 squares from queening, because there's so much stuff on the board. It's not like I'm going to promote. The fact is, this pawn is stuck here, and that's blocking the bishop, and that's blocking the bishop, which is blocked by the bishop. So it's just the fact that everything is blocked, which is good for me, because it just is. Just trust me on that. I think I'll protect here. I like that this pawn is really blocked here. It really kind of cramps his position a bit. The bishop not being able to move out means this area of the board is not under nearly as much pressure as it would be if the bishop could be attacking this square. The knight can't move to this square, so that limits its movement. In fact, right now it can't safely move to any location. So it's just cramping this area of the board up significantly. What I don't like about this position is having only 3 side pawns. In a game of chess, you don't need side pawns because, well, they can only attack in one direction, toward the board, and they're just not controlling what's important. In Horde chess, it's not like that, because the goal in Horde chess as the pawn player is to not lose all your pawns, which means enemy rook is not permitted to capture all this junk back here, because there's no way to protect your precious pawns from the back. So it's all about keeping the opponent out from the back. You follow that? Completely different. The reason is if he gets rid of these pawns here and penetrates into the position on that side of the board, then I'm at a severe disadvantage. I actually need pawns on the side in order to hold my position together. So it's opposite from chess. In Horde chess, you do not want to run out of side pawns or run out of control on the side of the board. I think I'm going to capture this. So he's kind of discombobulating me on the queen side. I guess that's the queen side. I don't have any queens, so it's hard to tell. I might need to do this kind of thing. It actually means that you often want to capture toward the side of the board in Horde chess. In regular chess, you don't want to capture toward the side of the board. The saying is capture toward the center if in doubt. Oh no, I overlooked this. He can trade a piece for 2 pawns, and I lose what I had. That's too bad. I lose what I had, that's too bad. Sounds like a pretty good name for a song. So capturing away from the center actually often makes sense in Horde chess. I'm going to protect that twice. It's important to have 2 defenders here because he has 2 attackers. I do not want him to trade his bishop for 2 of my pawns, especially in this area of the board where I'm kind of exposed a little bit. He has open files here, so he's able to threaten to penetrate down into my side of the board more easily. So it's even more important to have a bulwark of pawns, which is a fancy way to say a lot of pawns. It's important. I think I can safely play here. It's not a waste of time to advance these 3 pawns 1 square. Might look like it's not much, but from here I can move 2 squares, and that gives me a lot of flexibility. You can move 2 squares from the back rank like this, but just being up 1 more is not a waste of time. It gives me a lot more control over what's in the center. Do I take that? I don't think I have to, and in general, if you don't have to take something, then you don't have to take something. So I'm going to continue. I'll go here. With this move now, the bishop will not be threatening anything because this is a really solid structure here. If I push 2 squares, then the bishop might be hitting this at some point if I ever move these. I don't want this pawn to be exposed to that bishop. On the other hand, it is nice to have a second defender on this pawn. In fact, I might push the second square right now just for that reason. I could also push here. But that could be really bad when he sacrifices this way, then sacrifices this way, and then his queen comes in here because all of my pawns are used up. So we're not doing that. We're going to go a second square. It looks like a waste of time, for sure, to be doing this. Once again, he finds a way to trade a piece for 2 pawns. Clever man. We're running a little low on D pawns. We have just 2 left, so we want to be really careful with them. 2 D pawns and 2 E pawns. That's not actually that bad. Okay, we've got this pretty well held. It's not that bad to have 2 left. 2 is like the minimum. You don't want 1 because then any threat to run out is a problem. But 2, I'm okay. And I don't really mind it because I have a lot in other areas, which is important. I got to have them somewhere. But this has been 2 bad trades, losing 2 pawns for a piece twice. So I'm a little bit behind in material terms. But we don't know what's going to happen. I think that's a blunder. I don't think you should castle in Horde because I think it's important to keep the rook on the rook file because that does a great job holding pawns back. Without the rook on that file, I might be able to stir up some trouble here with all of my pawns in this area. Let's see what I can do. Time is running low as well, and that's probably going to play to my advantage because I have more time. This is only 15 seconds, but it's like 2/3 of his time of my time is all he has, which isn't much. Okay, so he's planning the penetration here. He's got 3 attackers, and I cannot defend this a 3rd time, so I need to prepare for the worst. I could play here. I'm going to do that. It's going to make it really hard for him to get through. He has to trade his queen, so he could trade his bishop for that and trade his queen for that and get in. But he wouldn't even be in enough. He'd lose his queen, so this is good for me. Now I have a few more moments. I'm low on time, but that's okay. Guess I'll push there. 11 seconds. So he broke through as the time ran low. It's going to take him a lot of moves to capture everything, so I might have a chance to do some trouble while his queen is off to the side of the board. It's nice to get these checks in. I'm actually really tempted to check him right now because then his king is exposed where I can check it again. Every time he moves his king, that's a move he's not spending capturing all my pawns. So that's a good thing for me for him to be moving his king a lot. 3 seconds left for the whole game, so I need to play a little faster. But see how I'm getting these checks? These are advancing moves that he's not getting to do things because he's moving his king over and over. This could be tough for him here. We're not playing perfectly at this point because we're low on time, but it's difficult to stop this. I think he needs to move this pawn so that his queen stops it. But I can en passant. Now he needs to rush back with his queen because I'm going to cut off communication. Guess I'll just do that. And I promote. Funny tactic here. You don't usually see entanglement where the queen cannot reach the queening square. But that is what we're seeing here. Whoa. I almost blundered my queen. I just win this game, obviously. But maybe not if I trade my queen for nothing. Running will not help. I think you can safely resign in this position. Resigns. He's like, oh no, I think I'm going to be checkmated in one move. This is terrible. I'll resign. So that actually, I felt really bad. Let's analysis 1 sec. I want to own a sec, which means look at the analysis board because I'm trying to improve at Horde while I played it. So I think that he got some nice trades here. This was a really big mistake for me to allow him to trade his bishop for these 2 pawns. That was a great trade for him. I lost all of my advantage, I think, when that happened. And at this point, he's doing great. Was there any way to stop it? Well, no. Perhaps, hey guys, just a sec. I want to look at this. Perhaps I need to just make that trade. At least he doesn't get to trade a piece for 2 pawns. I do lose my advanced pawn, but he outmaneuvered me in that area of the board. He does it again with his knight here, trading his knight for 2 pawns. So at this point, I like his position. He's got open lines. He can probably find a way to make another trade over here and get in. The castling, I think, is a mistake. Because that gives me a play on this side of the board. I think instead he could just play his rook here, which is like in this position right here, when he castle. Instead of castling, thanks for all the challenges, guys. Instead of castling, I think rook c8 would be quite strong. I have to play here. Maybe this goes the same as it was, so maybe, you know what, maybe, whoa. I don't know what I pushed, backspace, which took me back to the game. Maybe the queen's more useful on c6 here. Maybe he should play queen c6 because now I cannot push or he'll trade his bishop for these 2 pawns, which is an advantage for him, just because I don't have enough pawns in this area. And so if I play this, take, and that's good for him. I only have a few things here. He can play rook up. Check this out, guys. This is a common tactic. Rook up. Queen behind, I'm just doing any move for white, and capturing this. This will break into the queen side. I take, and he takes, and he breaks through. And that's what happened in the game. He played the same thing, 2 attackers on a3. He captures, and there's no way for me to stop him from coming in. This is under attack, and when I block, then he's got this pawn he can capture. But I wasn't that concerned here, even though he's broken through, because with no rook in this area of the board, I can play a nice counterattack. Now, I think this is a win for him. I mean, it's not like a draw. You know somebody's going to win. And if somebody's going to win, probably with perfect play, he's going to win. But we started running on low on time. And look at this. He gets checked so many times. Each check is a free move for me because I get to advance my pawn, and he just moves his king again. So I think actually after this check, he should have played king back, maybe, because that slows down all of my checks. I can't be taking things at that point. I was interested if he played here and here, if I would just be toast. This is much better for him. It's not totally clear still. Maybe here, though. because now I can't advance this guy. Like that. He has just enough pieces to really cause me too much of a headache, because the bishop is really a lot of material, plus the queen and rook, so he wins this. Well, that was interesting. He deserved to win, especially after finding 2 ways to trade a piece for 2 pawns. But with the time pressure on, I was able to finagle out a win. So we have a lot of challenges. Rondep, for some reason, wants to play casual. Sorry, Rondep, I want to play rated. So we've got some choices here. We've played Shockful once, but we only played with 1 color. But I have also Terminal and Instagram to play. Now, Instagram is challenging me at chess 960, which is silly because I'm playing Horde today. So let's see, Terminal or Shockful. I'm going to go with the new player, and then we'll get back to Shockful if we have time for that, because he already did get 1 game. So sorry about that, but I want to play a variety of players today. Rookie GTO erroneously says that White wins this game because he plays first. I have to admit that I don't think that's a very convincing argument. We could play chess where White has no queen, and you could use that same argument. He moves first, therefore he wins. And I think that's probably a fallacy. Okay, so notice I captured away from center. I'm actually thinking about covering this side of the board well, as opposed to not. Terminal is a strong player. He's 2100 at Lightning Chess, 2100 at Fire Chess, 2200 at Hourglass Chess. Those are some high ratings, so we don't want to underestimate this opponent. I'm really tempted to play c6 here because that closes up the board, which is good for the pawn's player. And I think that because I think that. There's actually nothing I read that said that's good. I just have that from experience. I can also take. I don't think that's going to lead to anything useful for me. So I think I can push and capture once again away from center. Like I said, having 2 pawns on a file is probably enough. 3 is great, so I'm not too concerned about having fewer pawns here. Oh, rookie meant for standard chess. He didn't mean Horde chess. Yeah, White has an advantage in standard chess. I can say that's probably true. Okay, so I'm capturing away from center. He's now threatening this pawn with 2 attackers because he's got an X-ray attack with the bishop. I think I'll just capture because it leaves him with an isolated pawn, kind of slows down whatever he's doing. But it's pretty tempting to just advance. Maybe I should just advance here. Yeah, I think I'll advance instead. Like I mentioned, if you don't have to capture, it's often a good idea not to. The reason is, if I take and he takes, think about how advanced my pawns are. I still have this guy back here. This pawn is moved back to e3, and it's my turn, but my pawns aren't very advanced. If he takes me and I take him, my pawns are moving forward as they recapture. So in terms of moving forward of the board, you actually get a lot more space by advancing. Now I'm going to close this up as well, and I'm going to attribute this to the fact that Terminal, although he's an elite chess player, has not played Horde that much. In fact, his total number of Horde games is 4. This is his account here, and he's played 4 Horde games. So he may not be attuned to the finer points of theory, which is maybe why he's allowed me to close up the position like this. I've blocked his pawns. I'm gonna say that's probably true. Maybe actually I'm the dumb one, and he's being really smart here. That could be also, because that has happened before. One time, once upon a time, it was like episode 120 or something like that. Chesswiz wasn't very smart. So it's not impossible. Once again, I'm going to do the funny looking thing and capture away from the center. This is something that pawns do a lot in Horde chess. If I'm capturing towards center, then I'm weakening the sides of the board where he will hope to break through. I am not going to capture that, which also looks funny, but I don't want to lose my bind on this side of the board. So I'm gonna capture away from center again if he captures here. I don't think he wants to capture. Clever move. Okay, so he's giving up 2 pieces for 3 pawns. I don't have to capture this bishop. In fact, I think I don't want to. I think this is my only move. to not capture it because I need to guard the D pawn. The queen was coming in up to take this. And if I advance this one to defend, then he can capture here. So this is my move, c3, the perfectly calculated move to not lose everything. If I take, then he comes in on the side. And like I was saying, I really value those side pawns. I don't even think I want to take a piece for a pawn if he's going to penetrate here. It's very convenient for him to play his rook here, then to play his queen back where that was, and then he's got a battery and then capture here. And in no time, he's inside my base, and it's all belonged to him. Because the rook takes, the queen takes, and then he's just in. So you have to be really careful with that. Chess Whiz, according to chat. Getting a question here. I think push, just because I love closing things up. Or maybe I should take the bishop now. That would be funny. I'm going to take it. I mean, this is something you don't get very often, so I guess I'll try it. Chess Whiz, have you watched Zug Addict? He left his stream on. We tried to wake him up, but he was fast asleep. He was fast asleep, guys. That's even worse than being asleep, because you're like sleeping really fast. How does that even work? So I've got the problem I just described. Play here maybe, but then the bishop captures. Am I okay with that? Maybe I am. It's all very delicate. This is bad because this pawn's not guarded. I'm going to push. I think time is going to be important. I don't mean clock time. I mean like a rush to capture things. Ooh, I didn't anticipate that, which is dumb because it was sitting right in front of me. But this is, I should have protected that guy actually. Perhaps. And now I'm out of time and kerflummoxed here. It's not going well. 2 seconds left. There's 2-second increment on the clock though. Good move. That was fun. I got just one move away from queening, and now I have nothing. Literally, I have nothing. Because I can't protect that guy, so I'm overextended. Maybe I should run out of time. But never give up, never surrender, unless you're being rude, which might be happening any moment here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so nothing can happen here, but at least he lost a rook. That's actually nice for me. It's like, okay, you don't have a rook. That's a lot to not have. Once again, making use of my d-pawns before they die. It's not completely over. It's kind of completely over. Can I cause any trouble? I play g4. He can take the h-pawn. But that's the only way to make anything happen. Take it. No! I had this awesome move where he takes the h-pawn and then I play f7, winning. Winning is a lot better than what's happening right now. It's not totally clear. A bad player could definitely lose this game as the black pieces. Unfortunately, my opponent is not bad, so maybe he won't lose. But you never know if you don't try to lose. That was a good move. Oh, I'm out of time right when I was blowing my nose. That's terrible. I think I lose this. Let's analysis this. So I'm going to play here. He's just going to take. Then he's going to take this. And I don't have anything. So I'll push here and hope for something. He'll just eat me up. And he'll just take my stuff. Now he's in trouble. He'll just let that sit there as well. Now I win. with that move. So I had some play, right? If he just took all my pawns for free, then he might end up losing. But he probably would be smarter than that. Oh well, too bad I ran out of time. Let's go back and play Shockful. He deserves that game where I am the pieces, because we only played him where I was the pawns. So now we're going to play the other round. The way around, GLHF, which stands for good luck, have feathers. I'm focusing on the center. All right, so we've played 3 games today. I'm two wins, 1 loss, I think. Horde chess is nice and slow. I'm going to just push 1 pawn, 1 square each in the center here and just try to open up a file. It went well. It went okay in the first game. This is my second time being the pieces today, so we have a lot to learn still. Is there something for free right here? I'll do the same kind of thing as I did in our first game of the stream. Oh, I'm sorry, Flying Queen chess. You're not challenging me in Horde chess, so sorry. It's Horde today. Hence the quote. No one can see the quote right now, so I'll show you the quote in just a sec. Should I do the same thing? I'll do the same thing. Here's the quote, guys. It's a pretty good quote. Straight out of Calvin and Hobbes, actually. I don't know if Bill Watterson invented that or if he stole it from someone else, but now I'm stealing it from him. So we'll just see how that goes. Since he's no longer writing Calvin and Hobbes, I think we're safe. I'm so tempted to play G6 and just lose my pieces for pawns again. He will push if I play G6. He will push, and then I will trade my knight and my bishop and capture here. And for 2 pawns, I will get 3 pawns for 2 pieces. We've seen this happen before, but a lot of you haven't who are watching live. If you're watching live on twitch.tv/chesswiz right now, you have not seen that happen because you tuned in late. But in the first game, that's exactly what happened. I traded knight and bishop for 3 pawns, and I did it on both sides of the board, and it was very dubious. So let's do it again. If you're watching on YouTube, you saw that, so shout out to you YouTube viewers. It's too bad you're in the future and I can't even talk to you. And my young self right now can't talk to you, but my older self can talk to you in the comments down there. So if you want to talk to old ChessWiz, you can type in there. But I'll be older than I am right now, so keep that in mind. You're not going to get the real young ChessWiz that I am today. I'm time traveling. It makes everything a bit complicated, but every 10 minutes I travel forward 10 minutes. I want to take that. I wonder if I should bishop up and just lose my bishop for it. I want to trade 2 pieces. I want to get 2 pawns for my piece, so I go here and then here. But in that time, he could be defending it again. My nose is being nosing annoying. That didn't work. That's not a pun. Great. That's all right. Not everything has to be a pun. Some things can just be boring. Bye. Thanks for watching. I just lost a viewer. He was like, that was such a bad pun. I am leaving. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, you know Horde chess is kind of slow. There's this great dial. Now, I know that you live viewers are like, what? I'm not watching on YouTube. And the YouTube viewers don't exist yet, so it always feels weird to be talking to the future people who don't exist. But that's what I'm going to do right now. And I'm going to say, there's a button down there in the gear. Click the gear, and then it pops up, and it's like speed or playback speed or something like that. And then you can crank that up to anything you want, up to 2, which is double the normal speed. So if ChessWiz is not talking fast enough for you, I would recommend something faster, 1.25 or even 1.5. Not only is the chess faster, the ChessWiz is boring faster. And then when you get to something interesting, like, oh, goes his queen, you can actually wind that back and, you know, play it back in slow motion. I think you can do really slow motion. There goes his queen. Which is kind of fun. So now I'm setting up a bind on the dark squares. I don't want him to ever push his pawn here, and I want him to never be able to do that. And it's actually looking possible because I have 2 attackers, he only has 1 defender. I also want him to never be able to push here, which is already true because if I take, then he loses that pawn. Oh, he's giving up a pawn, which I will accept. Thank you for that. So it binds on this square, this square, this square, and something here might actually completely shut him down. He cannot push here as well without losing that guy, which he will do at some point if I lock it out and everything else, but otherwise he won't. So that's my job. I actually really want him to take this so that I can take them there. I think he will not fall for it, however. So maybe queen d7 actually, or is that e7? Queen e7. That frees up the knight to move. Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it on this side. Okay. You cannot push anymore or I totally crush you. That's so that he can get that pawn pushed. Okay, I need to find a breakthrough here. I don't have to capture. Too many people just capture right away. Maybe take this so my queen isn't boring over there. And then maybe here. Oh, is that cool or what? So he captures with this pawn. Oh, well. Well, let's see which way he captures. I don't have a lot of time on my clock, so I've got to do something smart. So I'll just try something, see if it's smart later. Okay, okay, this is awesome. I'm attacking this pawn, which of course he cannot allow, or I will just eat up everything. I will be a consumer of his pawns. I'm also attacking this b5 pawn. Very hard to protect everything at this point. I'm also attacking the d4 pawn. So I think this is basically going to tear him up. Which one do I take? I actually don't mind losing the rook, because the pawns here are going to take a lot of moves before they're dangerous to me. I'm actually going to take this one. Here, attacking both of these. He can't protect both. This looks like a typical position where the pieces break through and start capturing stuff on the back. What's bad for him here is that he does not have a lot of threats. It's a race between the pieces capturing enough pawns so that nothing is defended anywhere, and the pawns threatening to promote. And here, with only 2 pawns on the 5th rank and a smattering of 4th rank pawns, I think he's a long ways from generating any meaningful threats. Like, I'm going to kill your family. I don't even think he can say that right now. I'll just move back here. Just going to let him take some moves to do this. Not worried. 2 seconds. I need to move quickly. I guess take that. Two seconds. 1 second. I need to be quick. Oh! He resigns. With 3 seconds on my clock. That's interesting that he would resign because he could maybe pressure me into running out of time. I was interested in this move, though. I'm actually really worried about, let's analysis this board as well. Analyze, I suppose the word is. This is really worrying to me. I'm not even sure what I should play. Maybe rook g8 protects everything. But he's threatening this pawn fork, and then, you know, and I don't know, and stuff. It's pretty bad. So let's see here, and he's going to check me on this side, and then I have to go here to stop it, and then he's going to push on this side. Okay, so I go here, and maybe I'm okay. Because then in 2 more moves, then I come take this with the knight. Very close. Or what if he pushes this way, check, and I have to go here to stop him, and then here, no, how do I stop this guy from promoting? Here. See, it's very delicate, as you can see. It's kind of like a feather that's made out of flowers. It's very delicate. But I'm okay here as well. And then I'm going to play here, and then I'm going to take that, or I'll just take this right away. So I'm okay. I'm okay in every line with that move. And I could also defend this way, which I don't mind trading my rook for all this stuff. So if he pushes, I just take that. And if he pushes on this side, I move over. And then he forks me, and I'm dead. So actually, rook g8 loses. And maybe with my 3 seconds left, I would have played rook g8 and lost to this move. So as you can see, that would be pretty bad, even if you promoted to a rook. So this is the right move. And then no matter what he pushes, he loses. Whew. See, that was pretty close. I was surprised he resigned. Rondep really adjusting his challenges here. Look at that. He's now challenging me to a rated game of Horde with 3 minutes. That's the longest time control. And the most rated that any game has ever been with Rondep. So we're going to actually grant him a game. GL, have feathers, just because Rondep's been watching and waiting for a long, long time. Now we do want to play Le Traun because he's a strong, like the strongest Horde player in the universe. You can see his rating is actually bigger than my monitor. And then Flying Queen, he just showed up. He's a good friend, so we should play with him. But I don't know if there's time for all that. We probably just have time for one game after this one, unfortunately. So I think maybe we'll have to just see what happens. Push. What? I don't think that. Nice try. I think I push here. I'm going to do the same thing that I tried to do out of the game, which is block this pawn. If it works well, it's going to be fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. No problem. No problem. I think just push here. I'm going to capture this way. That's why I'm defending. I want to go away from the center. If you're just tuning in, you're probably confused, but no. In Horde chess, you capture away from the center. This is not chess, so you don't play like chess players play. The endings can be similar, but only a little similar. And the middle games are nothing like chess. This is more like horse racing than chess, only it smells better. Okay, take. Do I just take everything? No, I don't take anything. Maybe I take this one, though. I don't want to take this one because I want this guy to stay blocked. But maybe I take all this stuff. Maybe I do nothing. Ha! I'll let him figure it out. I actually think I can just do nothing here. Olith1234 says, what would you like to see on chesswitht.tv? Oh, that's cool. It's a link to my website. Let's go to straw poll and answer. What would you like to see on chesswitht? By the way, this is not me asking this poll. This is Olith, who is one of the longest viewers ever. He's like 6 feet long. But it's nice to have him around. Oh, more pawns that can capture pawns. That's so great. You're doing so well at putting pawns where pawns can capture them. What if I play here, blocking everything more? Yeah. I think he's actually going to play knight e7, at which point I think I'll just take it, relieve some of the pressure. Oh, knight that way. Oh, no. Now I do take this because I want to take that, but then I don't have enough defenders here. I don't have enough defenders here or here. No, I'm okay. Everything's held. Take. He'll have to bring more attackers before I start sweating. Actually, I'm sweating now because it's the middle of summer where I live. So more stuff from him. I'll counter that with more stuff from me. I have 1 minute. There's no increment. Oh no, I forgot there's no increment. I need to be playing quickly. I'm going to be playing quickly here. 1 minute for the rest of the game means we can't be lollygagging. Lollygagging is definitely a word. It could be 2 words, but I think it's 1. I would hate to gag on a lolly, if you know what I mean. So not exactly sure what its meaning is. "54 seconds. I've done a pretty good job keeping this game brisk. Focusing here. I'm not saying anything witty right now. I'm just trying to not move slowly. Oh, I lost that pawn. That was bad. Capturing away from center with that capture. Oh, maybe he's going to take with queen. I do nothing with that move. That's a waiting move. Its purpose is there's no rush here. Actually, there is no rush here. "28 seconds for the rest of the game." "21 seconds." Not an easy position. Oops, it's not going to work. I will pick up a rook. Okay, it worked. 14 seconds. Maybe I'm not quick enough to capture everything. I got another rook. 8 seconds. 7 seconds. And I'm out of time. Oh, come on. Wow. My heart's beating really fast, faster than you can see. If I were taking a lie detector right now, I'd fail. I'd be like, oh, he's lying. No, he's not lying. He's just running out of time in a chess game against Ronda. It's a lot like lying. It's very stressful. Oh, let's look at that chess position. Oh, he's winning anyway. Why does it matter? No, look at that clock. It's 0, 0, colon, 0. It's going this way. 0, 4. Oh. He has less than 1 second left, and of course I'm the one that runs out of time. He says yay because he's not me, but I'm not saying yay. I'm going to say ay-ya, which is the reverse. Oh, calm down. Okay. So if I would like to see one thing on Chess TV, what I'd like to see, well, I am Chess TV, so this is an interesting thing. I'd like to see Chess Cup 2, I think, because that would be so cool. Chess Cup is like introducing a new variant that nobody knows what it is. Let's see. There's been 7 votes. And Super Speedy Chess is the winner, and then Super Slow Chess, that's ironic. And Speedy King of the Hill and Chess Cup gets 1 vote. Yay, me! I'm the only one who votes for myself. And then no one wants these things. Well, no one out of 7 people anyway. Guys, if you don't want to... if you want to let your opinion be known, you can click the chat here. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't even care. Don't even bother to vote because I'm not going to look at the results. But for the rest of the episode, if you want to let your opinion be known, you can do that. I'll check at the end of the episode. Yeah, should have won that game. We'll have time for one more game, and the choices are Letround or Flying Queen. Oh, I should play both because Letround here is one of the best Horde players ever. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, we click on him, and he's got this huge golden trophy. What does it say? So we go community players, and then we scroll down here and we're like, okay, where's Horde on the screen? Oh, right over here. Which number is, let's do a rectangle. Which number is the biggest number? By a zillion. Okay, so we're not going to pass up the opportunity to play against the world's smartest Horde player just because Flying Queen is trying to challenge me, right? And Shockful thinks other game in a Horde game would be fun, but I think declining his challenge would be fun. He says, wow, sorry, playing another game. Well, it would make sense that he wouldn't want to play me at the same time because... What is he playing? He's playing 2 other games at the same time. Oh no, one of them's me. So he wouldn't want to play me at the same time because it's also Horde. So let's just watch this super strong player. So we're watching Letround, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, against... Well, let's read it backwards. Caballero? Does that mean like Brazilian horse? It might mean that. Is Letround going to win? Yes. He's the world's best player. What am I learning from chat here? I'm going to slip this on the right. Ornicar 2 is in the chat. He's the world's creator of this website. You can get the numbers from there. What kind of numbers? Well, I'll click on it. Oh, you can get the winner rated colors to see. Letron is French. Yeah, he is. Is he? Do I know him maybe? So you can get the balance of Horde chests. What are we seeing on the board here? We're seeing the opponent run out of time. And actually, this might be hard to defend against. Too bad he only has 8 seconds and there's no increment, right? Because look at that. Look at that check right there. And then promote what? You don't have it. Oh. Right? I think white can win this, but not in 3.1 seconds. It's too bad. Good games. I've enjoyed today's episode. Kind of unwinding here after that game against Rondep. Oh, 3 minutes was just not enough time to play that whole game. I mean, the first half was like 4 moves, and then the last half was the entire rest of the game. So there's a rematch, but I'm going to say hey, 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 even though no one can see me saying hey, hey, I'm waiting for my opponent over here. So now I'll say to him, which of course there's no notification. It's not like ding, oh, Tesman said now. Nothing will happen, so. And no one can see this either because I'm actually talking to the other spectators, of which there are now 2. So if he doesn't play me, I'm not going to play him. He says, okay, so we're going to play him. We can look up the winner. Select Horde rated winner color. Select Horde rated winner color here. Okay, so Horde. Select variant Horde. Select rated. Where's rated? Not very good at this. Rating, no. Opponent variant mode, opening mode. Rated. Oh, there we go. Okay. Then winner color. White. There were 27,000 wins as white and as black. 27. Wow, is that close or what? 27,184 white rated Horde wins in this database, and 27,715 black rated wins. In other words, Chess Whiz is a balancing genius. Actually, it wasn't my idea to let the pawns move 2 squares from the first rank, but it sure was a good idea because before that, the pawns were losers, and now it's pretty balanced. Okay, let's go. He adds me a little time. GL. So this is another 3 minute game and with no increment, so we need to be careful not to get too low on time. Here I'm going to capture everything, which is probably bad, but there's a lot of pressure on this pawn. And this helps me to not have to think. That's different. Okay, we're doing something different now. Fix you two, THX, that stands for If you don't get it, that's okay. I don't have to explain every joke. Guys, do you know how to put an elephant in the refrigerator? Whoa, what is your pawn doing? You are cray cray. How do you put an elephant in the refrigerator? This is really important because if you ever wake up in the morning like, great, my elephant is not in the refrigerator, you won't know what to do unless you've watched Chess Whiz TV and watch this right now so you can find out exactly how to put that elephant in. So let me tell you, it's actually a 3-step process. Step 1, open the refrigerator. I bet you didn't get that part. I bet you were like, I don't even know how to start. Step 2, put the elephant in the refrigerator. Step 3, close the refrigerator. Now you know how to put an elephant in the refrigerator. So if you're ever faced with that situation in life, you can just think back to this episode 158 in case you forget and rewatch it and be like, wait, what was step 2 again? I've got my refrigerator ball, the cold air is falling out. I don't know what to do. Just go back to episode 158 and I will tell you. My young self will tell you. Am I having a problem here? Or is everything good? I think everything's good. It's kind of exposed. Everything is flying around. Can I get away with this? If I can, it's great. Oh, I can't. Oh well. If I could have, then it would have been great. No, I could push here. No, that doesn't work. I could push here. No, that's not very good. I could push here. No, those are all bad. Xouts wants to know how do you put an alligator in the refrigerator. Look at this. Xouts is playing right into my trap. He's asking how you put an alligator in the refrigerator. The answer is step 1, open the door. Step 2, take the elephant out of the refrigerator. People forget that part. Step 3, put the elephant, the giraffe, nope. Man, you trapped me, Xouts. I don't even know what to put in. The alligator into the refrigerator, and 4, close the door. It's a 4-step process for the alligator. Don't forget that. The next morning when you wake up with this alligator, you need to take that elephant out. Do not forget it. Wow. You almost got me, because I thought you were a giraffe. I'm losing. I'm losing. Because there's a lot of open files here, guys. Rooks can come in like this and attack me. Not that they will, but they could, right? And it's just a smattering of pawns left over. It's not very much of a smattering either. This is not good. And by that I mean it is bad. There is another good riddle, by the way. I think it's rook, right? Why would I not take a rook when I can take a rook? I'm taking a rook. Okay, rook, bye-bye rook. 47 seconds for the rest of the game. Show me your hottest moves. Oh no, he's going to take my pawn. 34 seconds here. Then there's a good riddle. I should ask you guys this riddle. It's like you have to cross the river. You may have heard this one, right? You have to cross the river and... No, it's not the goat and the cabbage one. So you're crossing the river. You're trying to cross the river and there's no boat. 24 seconds. I don't think looking at my clock is really helping me to move quicker. Oh, he's adding me time. Oh, thank you. He's like, here's some time. You can lose. Don't worry. I've got your back, man, and your pawns. So this is really nice. See, look, he can only capture me if he takes these guys, which will take him a lot of time. Meanwhile, in the Soviet Union, you try to cross the river, and what do you have? Oh, I'm just losing my pawns. That's why he's giving me time. Here you go. Here you go. Here's some time. Want any blunders? Of course, Zouts is trying to ask all the riddles, right? Because he knows the riddles. How do you fridge an elephant in a chess whiz? It's getting kind of weird in the chat right now. You're trying to cross the river, and it's the home of the alligators, and you don't have a boat. What do you do? That's the question, and you YouTube viewers can't see the chat, so you don't even know. The answer is swim across the river because the alligator is in your refrigerator. The purpose of that joke is actually to annoy other people with it. You don't tell that joke and then like it's funny so you laugh. You tell that joke so that the other person can tell that joke. It actually works pretty well, as I just demonstrated. How am I doing? I still have some pawns on the board. Oh, I didn't see that move after design. King d7, so good. I expected something worse. GG. My play was somewhat compromised by the jokes and riddles. However, it's not like I would have beaten the world's best Horde player either way, so I'm not going to make an excuse other than to say that I'm sorry I lost. Fix you two, winking face. And I'm going to send him a winking face also because that's the kind of person I am. That's my wink right there. I'm going to play Flying Queen, a 1-minute Horde game. This is the last game of the show. Running a little bit late today, but that's because we Horders love hoarding. So here we go. 1-minute game of Horde chess. There is no increment here, so this is going to be the fastest game you have seen on this episode. I'm suck at Horde. You are? Are you sure that you are suck at Horde? Or do you suck at Horde? This is very difficult to determine. I'm not sure whether you are or you do. It's one or the other. I'm hoping it's that you do. He's doing pretty well for someone who is suck at Horde. This might be nice. I don't think it is, though. $38 seconds to 33. The time can become really important because you got so many pawns. That's so many moves. So sometimes you don't have enough moves for all those pawns. Got a piece traded for 2 pawns there. Just about got another one. to do here. My bishop's being forced back. Oh, he could have pushed. That would have hurt. Not that this is that good. Aha! Now I win. Of course, the time is all that matters, so why are we even moving our pieces around? Oh, 2 seconds to 5? I'm out of time. Oh, flying queen just flew his pawns down to get a queen. That was terrible. Oh, I'm thinking about the alligators. I'm like, oh, okay, so if the alligator's in the refrigerator, right? So, okay, so I'm okay. No, maybe there's other. It's the home of the alligators. There's probably 2 alligators, and I just ran out of time. Flying queen, that was so bad. First you're winning, then you run me out of time while I'm winning. Frown. It's a good thing we have emoticons in here. I wouldn't even know how to express myself. I just look at my computer and be like, well, do I type I am sad? Or do I just look at my computer? It's a good thing I have a camera so you guys can tell what I'm actually thinking. But fortunately with emoticons, I'm just like shift semicolon 9, which is a fancy way to say frown face. And you know exactly what I'm feeling. It's so great that I can relate to you guys. Because I don't really relate to people in general. Like, other people, you know, feelings. I'm sure you chess players can understand. You would much rather play chess with somebody than actually talk to them. And so I can relate to that as well, but I can't relate to you because I'm a chess player. Well, I enjoyed this game. I enjoyed all of these games. Let's look at our profile here. You can see we have 9,998 games played. Let's make that a nice oval around that, a couple of ovals right here. Next episode, we are going to play game 10,000, the 10,000th game that chess was ever played on this website, which is kind of monumental. So we're actually going to make that an epic game. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be Thursday at 6 p.m. GMT live on twitch.tv/chesswiz. And if you didn't catch that, then rewind the recording and listen to it again. This has been ChessWiz TV. Thanks for watching.